per person or more people taking in. Now, one of my dreams is by 2015, if we can stop sending housemaids, I would be glad. But I can't do it. The government will make a policy decision to support that. What I could say is, I will bring 1 billion rupees external, 1 billion rupees. So if we can match 1 billion with a grant, let's give that grant to them, do something in 2015. So that's how we are going to start.
So you have a backup plan?
Yeah, we have strategies, concepts. So we do concept strategies, but we are not going to sell those things, because training is not a business for us, it's a lifestyle. We are running behind a purpose. One day, not one day, now we are hitting the purpose now. So when we are hitting the purpose, we have nothing to achieve or prove to someone else. But if the time permits, if the society wants, if the country wants us to contribute, yes, of course.
I think we to reinforce the fact that motivation does require a purpose, and that is what you're advocating here on the show as well, that you have to figure out what you need and then you can go after it. But what if there are, I mean, I know for a fact that there are my colleagues who, when you're in your early 20s, that it's very hard to figure out exactly what you want in life.
20s? Oh, your friend, sorry.
Love it so far.
So
I just made my Monday morning, didn't you?
Right, yes. Okay, as you're saying,
it's just
when it comes to figuring out...
so what she meant was the colleagues is in me, early 20s.
Young age, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in your age.
Exactly.
Right?
You're totally visible.
Thank you.
But when it comes to setting goals, people have problems sometimes. So how do you guide them in finding out what they want as well? Because if they don't come into your forum knowing exactly what they want from the beginning, then how can you go about sort of motivating that and helping them to find out exactly what they do want?
I think one of the things there is that a problem with Sri Lanka is at the moment that parents tend to push their kids in directions that they want them to go in. Like, so you're done with your education, go do this. Or you're expected to be this, you're expected to be all these things. And that sort of channels back to what Chari was talking about in terms of, you need to find your core. And your core, to an extent, you might not find it when you're 18, you might not find it when you're 25, you might not find it until you're about 40, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to live by certain things that make you happy.
But in the corporate world, do we see a potential growth, as in, do you see a great future ahead? Because you mentioned the fact that parents are like that, but what I see personally is that we are changing from that shift to a contemporary, scene where the parents are thinking in a modern
There's
context.
Western influence
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well,
So
yes.
do you think that helps as well?
It does help, because as long as we're creating enabling environments for our youth, as long as we're creating environments where they can express themselves, they can explore, then I think we're going in the right direction. Because what we don't want to see is conditioning affecting people more than it already does. Because let's admit it, everybody's conditioned. Whether it's our upbringing, our religion, governments, all these things, whatever we are in, it just conditions us. And that's how, that's to an extent what brings in...
to a certain degree manipulates as well.
Yes, it brings in structure, which is essential to an extent, but it also makes us, walk in direction with droves of other people who are just going the same way, and we're sort of programmed, which we don't want to happen. So you need to find your core, you need to find your purpose, and it doesn't matter that, say, for example, you're 22 and you haven't found it yet, as long as you're doing things to sort of get there. So it doesn't mean that you're a failure. What we believe is that there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback from a situation. So what's the feedback you take from it? How can you implement it? How can you change? So
and then you learn from it.
You learn from it, definitely. So what we do is, okay, you haven't done this, you're branded a failure. That doesn't work. It shouldn't work. So the fact that society is moving towards this thing about, okay, openly expressing things is a good thing.
Of course. And when it comes to the future plans that you have now with this brand of training that you've developed, you just want to take it further, I'm sure. But where do you see this leading Sri Lanka as a community as a whole?
I think Chari will be the best person to answer that.
I think our purpose will not end, but we have very clear goals. By 2020, we should be #1 motivational brand in Asia. But what now we feel is we can even be the world #1. So because we want to be we want to position Sri Lanka as the best, one of the best 10 countries in this world to live in happy peace. So we want all the trainers to be in line with this. Now we don't have any competition, we just beat our best. So we help each other. We have a lot of trainers around us. Number one motivational brand in Asia, 10 international destinations operating. We know we can do it more than that. So then 100 associate trainers, because we can find out opportunities, but we need to have more trainers to send it to other countries, because other countries foreign currency will bring in, I told you 2018 strategy, so they will bring in money. We need 1,000 youth leaders, we need to groom them, 10,000 volunteers, 100,000 corporate citizens by this type of initiative. We have 3 different brands: Take Control Life, Take Control Sports, Take Control Youth. So then 1 million power initiatives in our web portal supported by our software. So we know these are the things that happened at that time. Then 21 million inspired Sri Lankan citizens. So these are the goals. So if we can have 21 million inspired citizens by 2020, definitely we can make this country one of the 10 best, within 10 best countries in this world to live with happy and peace and prosperity and self-satisfaction. So this is the covering goal, but our purpose will not stop.
Now that's refreshing to hear. It's actually food for thought as well. I mean, for us to say it in 2013 for the next 7 years, that will be a goal that Sri Lanka as a country should have as a vision and a mission in life. So I think we pretty much covered a lot throughout the day, and I really enjoyed it so far. Yes.
And we learned a lot as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us.
Thank you very much for the
It was a great pleasure to have you here this Monday morning.
Yes, and of course, as I said before as well, I need to thank you guys once again for being here on Good Morning Sri Lanka, and hope you get your doctorate in the near future as well.
It was outside the show, I think.
No, it was
inside the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Nevertheless, we would wish you that as well. But Good Morning Sri Lanka continues every weekday. Amaya, of course, is one of our frequent faces coming to your TVs, right, Amaya?
Yes, and Banu and I will both see you tomorrow on Tuesday's show. So thank you so much for being with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. And we have to go for today, but we'll be back tomorrow as well. Have a good morning.